Okay, how are you doing? I'm Richard Min, and I'm richardmin.com, and I'm Startup Seoul. This is my place, and welcome to Mike Prasad. Prasad.
Yep.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little jet lagged, but I'm happy to be in Seoul.
And what brings you to Seoul?
So I was actually in town meeting with some investors.
Okay.
And also helping a blockchain company that I advise.
Okay.
With a presentation out here.
Advisor. He is an advisor. Tell me about your background or something. Me and Mike Prasad go way back,
Way back.
and I want to know what the update is.
Well, it's been a while. Since you knew me, I just got out of my startup side on the media side with the gaming and anime media companies, and then I'd done Kogi Barbecue, which was the Korean barbecue taco truck that started the worldwide food truck trend.
Yeah.
And
nice.
That, and then fast forward a couple of years, I ended up getting more heavily into working with startups and eventually work with all the accelerators and incubators around the world and different ecosystem development programs around US and Asia.
Okay.
Hawaii and Singapore specifically, and a little bit in Australia. And then ended up starting a fund.
Fund.
An incubator and a fund, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your incubator is, what is the name?
It's called Venture Lab.
Okay.
And it was we did 4.5 years. We did 3 small funds, invested in a little bit over a dozen companies, and we basically would first check in specifically in cross-border startups.
Okay.
And we were hands-on, so we helped them work with them for up to 18 months. And I did that for a while, and then after that went well, but then I kind of missed the startup side of things, which is really what I'm used to, is a building. And back when I had been doing the media stuff, I had come up with an idea to sell sponsorships against my own media sites. We had a YouTube channel and gaming channel on YouTube, and we also had a community site and stuff like that. And I had trying to figure out how to sell sponsorships and not just be a person, and not just having to hit the pavement. To scale that for small publishers and small content creators. And when I was running Venture Lab, we were looking at market opportunities in media and realized that there was a lot of opportunity in kind of the new wave of content creators on platforms like Instagram and even the kind of newer wave of YouTube, bloggers, podcasters, etc.
Yeah.
And realized that the way of working with them on content sponsorship was really, really archaic. It was an agency type model versus something that should be closer to how you buy Facebook ads or banner ads, which is a more programmatic inventory based model. And so I ended up remembering an idea that I had and decided I wanted to go build that. And so we built a company called Tiny Sponsor.
TinySponsor.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And it's basically like Etsy or an online shop for creators to sell their sponsorships. But it's not just connecting with the creator, it's actually being able to book specific opportunities based on what that creator makes. So if they have a blog about VR, it could be a VR article sponsorship. If it's Instagram about beauty, but specifically, let's say they do face masks. We have a creator called Looks by Lexington, and she does face mask reviews every Monday. And so that would be a sponsorable opportunity. And each of those are packages that anyone can book.
Yeah, and you do each one in the content form. In other words, you break down content.
Yes.
Okay.
The idea is that every creator is not just someone in beauty or not just a tech blogger. It's more specific than that. Everyone does something focused, right?
Specific is your word, right?
Specific and high context. Because it's one thing to say, like say you're a fashion company and you're looking for someone to sponsor. Just because someone else is in fashion, their style may not match your brand. So if you're looking for that, you need to know what's their style, what's their lifestyle like, what is their context. And if you find the right match, it makes sense. So for example, if you're a streetwear fashion, you say Seoul, you want to find someone, and say you're targeting the U.S. audience, you want to find someone who's also in that streetwear urban fashion as well, and that's what they're about. Because if they're about that, then their audience will follow them for that, and their audience will be more engaged with that type of content.
Okay.
So it just makes sense, right?
Oh, okay.
And so just saying someone's in fashion or looking at their Instagram account isn't enough. They should tell you what they're about because they know what they create every single day. So that's what we do. We go to them and we ask them to be specific and say, what types of things do you create? And we use that data and a lot of that information and our own data to then match that against the right brands that need that specific opportunity. And so it becomes this way of like browsing and adding to cart, kind of like on Amazon, where it's like you're browsing up products and adding to cart, but there's algorithms that help you find the right purchases, right? So we do a very similar thing.
Interesting. But your competitors are, it's a new market, but competition still exists.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and what is your what is your secret sauce or something?
Yeah, I think our secret sauce, our differentiator is that we take it from an inventory-based approach, and so it's different from saying. If you think about a marketplace, there's a lot. So most people qualify us as influencer marketing, but with that, actually, I think influencer marketing is a subset of content sponsorship. So we do all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, podcasts, blogs, anything that can be sponsored. We can support it on our platform, but most of our competitors view it as a talent management process, as a proposal system, where you have representation or you have a profile and you've got to negotiate, and there's a lot of there's a lack of transparency, there's a lot of arbitrary pricing, and we think that it's actually more objective than that. Pricing is a metric, or is based on metrics like engagement and follower count and context and vertical and industry, but matchmaking is actually based on qualitative characteristics like style and aesthetic and types of formats. So, for example, if you're an e-commerce brand, you need formats like Instagram stories with links to be able to convert. If you're looking for a national brand, you maybe want Instagram posts that are visibility. If you're a B2B brand, you might want LinkedIn. Completely different, right? So we take that into account. And where our competitors, they're mostly directories with profiles, and then they help you communicate and negotiate.
Yeah,
it's a CRM.
Yeah, CRM.
Yeah.
Customer relationship management is CRM,
Yes.
but it's a CRM style, and you are taking the
We're a marketplace.
Marketplace.
And a marketplace, and I think a lot of other companies call themselves a marketplace because they have lots of influencers in their list, their directory. But the problem is there's no inventory. You can't book it. You have to contact them and negotiate and request proposals. And that's not a marketplace. That's a community or maybe a directory or an agency. A marketplace, by definition, has to have purchasable inventory, things that are defined with the price, with deliverables, with characteristics that you can buy. That's what we do. That's where we differentiate.
Interesting. And so how long has this been running for?
We did a beta about a year and a half ago, and then we did our public launch this year.
Interesting. And I can see it and publicly see it and sign up or go to creators or sign up or something?
Yeah. We don't. Unlike a lot of other services where you have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee, we're actually just a true marketplace. Just like Amazon or Etsy, you can go to the website. If you're a seller, you can sign up and add packages to your store. If you're a buyer, you can browse and use our algorithm to find opportunities. And then we get paid when someone purchases and after it's completed. We do take a percentage of every transaction. And we're completely transparent about that. The creators set their own pricing. We don't set the pricing. Brands can also...
That's the key.
It's one big key, I think, we are the online store for the creators, and for the brands, we're supply side. We're a place where they can go book. And you can book 100 creators in minutes and get a campaign going in a few minutes versus a traditional process of identifying, having to sort through and review profiles, figure out their brand safety, all these things you have to do, and then you got to reach out to them. It takes weeks to do a campaign per creator. And you might do this 100 times to get one campaign going, whereas we can do it in minutes. because we had that data, we had that inventory, and then we have our built-in payments and escrow and stuff like that. And basically, once the brands add to cart and check out, they fill a campaign brief. The creator gets the details. They choose to accept it. They produce the custom content. They post it. And then once the buyer verifies it was done properly, then they get paid.
Okay.
And everything's streamlined.
Interesting. Languages. You deal with languages or English only?
So right now we are English only. We are actually about to launch our beta for Japan.
Oh, okay.
So we've been building in a multi-language support. So right now we have Japanese already configured. We're looking also at China, Korea as a market for us, Southeast Asia. Now that we have a partner in Japan, which is why we're launching with them first. But they have helped us with the translation, and then we're going to test it. We also added multi-currency support as well. So we're just testing out that additional layer of our platform, and if it goes well, we're going to go ahead and enable more languages and more currencies.
Kogi barbecue. It's done or it's
still going. So Kogi barbecue the chef was Roy Choi. And it was the first social media driven food truck.
Yep.
It was a Korean barbecue taco, and it actually helped open up bulgogi to American audiences.
Yeah.
Because previous to Kogi, it was 2008, 2009. Most Americans didn't go to Korean barbecue. It was something that was too foreign for them. And so when we merged it into a more approachable format, people actually ended up learning more about Korean culture and food and flavors. And we launched in 2008, and then it grew really fast. Like within a month, we had like hour-long waits, and ended up driving a worldwide phenomenon of social media-driven food trucks.
Yeah.
I was involved up to about year 3, and then the other co-founders, they all decided they wanted to expand more different restaurants.
Okay.
And it became Kogi Restaurant Group. And I think it was they did some really amazing things. I think really innovative restaurant concepts, but they were all traditional restaurants, and that wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I ended up leaving and then going back into the startup side.
Okay.
But yeah, I did the naming, the branding, the social media, a lot of the strategy around combining Twitter and food trucks and all of that.
Local is Vatos. You heard about Vatos?
No, I haven't.
It's the local Korean bar based on your stuff.
Okay.
And owners want to meet you, but I want to connect them.
Sure.
But it's cool, and connection is cool. And you are here on in business, but what do you do socially?
Socially, let's see. I have lots of side projects. I like creating things, and that's probably a good and bad thing, because as an entrepreneur, you want to finish things.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit of starting things and not finishing them. But I've been working on actually going out to trying a lot of restaurants with friends is a big thing I do all the time.
Interesting.
I host a lot of dinners. That's been kind of a side project just for fun, but creating new experiences is something I like doing. I actually helped my friend launch a caffeinated protein bar.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like a healthy balance. It's vegetarian, not vegan, but it's really great tasting, and it's called Kaffa Bar.
Kaffa Bar?
Yeah.
I don't know it.
We just launched like a month ago.
Okay.
Actually, I have some. I can leave here if you guys want to try it.
Hey, nice.
But it's like caffeinated protein bar. It tastes really good.
Okay.
And
you are a part of it, or?
I'm a small partner in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I helped in the same thing as the Kogi name, brand. They came with the name. I created the brand though, and then the design and the marketing.
Okay, and so you are off in creative lands, right?
I like to. Yeah, I like to. Like my background's in digital marketing and products, technology products.
Yeah.
But I started actually in design in college. So it's kind of nice to be able to go back and have some of that.
Okay.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. And food is your basic. No, food is your basis. But anything else besides food?
Well, anything for me is the cultural experiences, and lately that's taken the form of like food and drink.
Oh, okay.
So like cocktails and stuff like that. So I actually in 2011, 12, I did a cocktail bitters company.
Oh.
Kind of a side project, and I did really well.
What is it called?
It's called Hawaii Bitters Company.
Oh, yeah.
My partner came with the name, but the name is based on the region where coffee originated.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually it's based on not on coffee beans but on coffee fruit, which you'll see here.
Okay.
Because the caffeine from coffee fruit is a little bit behaves differently than caffeine from a coffee bean. I find it to be a little bit more of a stable, less spiky in terms of like a regular caffeine, and easier on the stomach.
Okay.
And so it's basically a protein bar, and we have nuts and kale and chia seeds and coffee fruit extract that gives it the caffeine.
Okay.
And it tastes pretty good, and a little bit like kind of a sweet salty thing going on, a little bit of honey. So it's vegetarian because it has the whey protein.
Okay.
And because it has honey.
Oh, okay.
Which is what makes it not vegan.
Yeah.
But we actually were working on a vegan version. We're trying to get the flavor right because the flavor is a big part of it. But the idea is that the name represents where coffee originated, and it's meant to be just like a good, guilt-free snack that gives you a boost of energy and protein and fiber. It's 11 grams of fiber.
How many bars do you have for one bar?
Oh, it's 10 bars a box.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a couple.
One bar is in many varieties.
Oh, we just have one flavor right
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, we just launched it. It's if this goes well, we'll go ahead and make new flavors.
Nice.
But it's kind of and we're doing online, kind of similar to say Soylent, was a direct sales model, subscription based.
Okay.
And so we just launched that, and so far so good. People like the taste. We've had some high end hotels have been picking up to sell because they find it's a good replacement for some other bars that they've had that don't sell as well. And people like the caffeine. It's funny, so this has the same caffeine as a cup of coffee.
Okay.
But people tend to eat it really fast because it tastes good. So they'll eat it in like a minute or two.
Okay.
And then they'll get like a super big jolt of caffeine because they've just downed a cup of coffee, basically. But I tend to eat it kind of over 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then it gives you a good boost up, keeps you full. And then the energy is very consistent because of the way you're eating it, you're having the caffeine with food, so it absorbs better and more gradual. And then also the coffee fruit extract format is better than the coffee bean, like the standard coffee format.
Damn.
Yeah, I give you.
Yeah.
And then it's cool because the box actually is designed to. Let's pull it off here.
Wait.
It can be a display, so it's a little messed up because it's been in my bag from across the world. But pull this off. And actually, I love package design. So the way it works is you tear this off.
Nice.
And it becomes a little display.
That's good.
Yeah. And I made all the branding, so all the marketing and the order online, all the details and tag us is all in the white part. So once you pull it off, it becomes kind of a clean, modern design, minimal. Something you wouldn't be streaming marketing on it, right?
Have some.
Experimental validation.
Yeah.
And package design, that's your specialty.
It's something I enjoy doing. I don't get to do it much, but...
Interesting. Nice. Kaffa bar. It's... where is it offered?
It's kaffabar.com. Right now, just U.S. shipping. I mean, we can definitely do direct arrangements to get it elsewhere. We've actually had requests, but officially just the U.S. But we have some resellers that are buying and reselling.
Okay. Interesting. I want this space to have coffee bars.
Yeah. How's it taste?
Awesome.
We were careful to get the texture right. We wanted it not just to be like a uniform texture. We wanted to have like real food feel to it. Everything's all natural. It's gluten free. All the things you look for. It's all like the ingredients. If you read it, it's like kale and peanuts. Actually, cashews. No peanuts. Cashews and nut butters and stuff like that.
And where do you source it?
So everything's made in California.
Okay.
Most of it's not fully organic, but most of the ingredients are organic.
Okay.
But it is all natural, no preservatives, any of that stuff.
Nice. And it's good. And I want vegan tuna. No, vegan bars.
Yeah.
And I'll wait until you get
Well,
it.
as soon as we have it, I'll send you some. I'll send you the test ones. We actually tried a vegan version, but the pea protein has a really strong flavor, so we have to find ways to balance it out. Because the whey protein actually gives it we have wafers, so it's like a texture to it.
Okay.
So when you eat it, you get like the cashew nuts as a texture, and you also get the wafers as a texture. And you get a little bit of salt at the end, which is kind of we're going for almost a umami flavor kind of going on, with that kind of like that slightly sweet, slightly salty. It becomes pretty craveable, so be careful.
How is it?
I'm too busy eating for commentary.
It's
I understand
good.
the concern about it being consumed in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, because when you start eating it, you just keep eating it because it tastes good. And then people are like, oh, it's so strong, but it's actually not strong. It's actually your average cup of coffee. We do recommend keeping it in a cool environment because the oils will separate.
So if I'm on a bike ride,
It'll get a little oily, but it's still edible. I mean, I've kept it in my pocket. Just when you open it, I would open the top and eat it versus opening the whole bag because then the oils will be a little bit at the bottom. Because then there's natural separation with the oils. So. It's a good pre-workout. 17 grams of protein, so it's enough for a good protein boost.
So, coffee bars and
Influencers.
influencers, and what else are you doing?
I spent most of my time, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, between those two, the occasional hosting a dinner. I still advise a lot of companies for my portfolio from Venture Lab.
Yeah. What companies are you advising?
So mainly it's a company called AdCoin, which is a programmatic, it's a new type of engagement ad format. And so it allows engagement-based monetization for mobile games and for publications. There's another one called Roji, which is a blockchain-based, it's a platform for anyone to take a real-world asset and tokenize it and do fractional ownership. So say you have a cluster car, real estate, and you want to sell fractional ownership. It allows the creation of marketplaces. So it's a marketplace tool.
Interesting. Blockchain company was right here.
Okay.
And they do travel.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to introduce you to him.
Okay.
Sometime.
Yeah.
What is your overall goal into life or something?
Right now, my goal is to so I spent most of my career as an entrepreneur in tech being a little bit more risky. I think my goal right now, next year or so, is to get Coffee Bar and Tiny Sponsor into a very stable space. Right now, they're in that like risky, fast growth, startup space. So I want to get them to like a Series A kind of level. Get them both have clear paths to profitability, so we want to get them there. And I think ultimately my goal is to build on what we're doing with Tiny Sponsor, which is this idea of creating tool sets for independent creators to make a living, and actually enabling the right type of content. It goes back to this thesis I had with Venture Lab, which is what technologies can normalize the playing field and allow people to do what they do best and get paid for it and create a sustainable living. And to me, that's intelligent marketplace tools, which is why a lot of my focus has been on marketplaces.
Okay.
And with Tiny Sponsor, you have a whole new generation of people that have grown up on technology, the younger generation, and there's a lot of consumption there, but the existing systems and support doesn't really benefit them in the best way. It's actually quite diluted. If you look at people that, like if a TV show had the same audience engage as some of these YouTubers or Instagrammers or anyone, they would be getting 10, 20 times more money for the audience size. And I just want to create more direct revenue streams that enables people to do what they love and create content that's meaningful versus what I think is the issue with the media industry now, which is high traffic, low value. So a lot of inflammatory, a lot of crisis-driven news, and those don't actually benefit anyone other than these platforms, and it's the lowest common denominator, and I want to reverse that. I want to make it easy for someone to say, I'm creating truly valuable content that has value to audiences, that has value to society. It's about what they're passionate about. It isn't just this reaction cycle of just, a lot of times rage or concern or fear or uncertainty. We want to say, okay, if you're creating something that, I mentioned the creator earlier who does beauty, but for a very specific body type and skin type that's not usually represented. And so for her, we want to find a way more ways to support what she's creating because it's a good message. We have creators that do, dive deep into learning and dive deep into music or other areas that they're passionate about, and their audience benefits from that.
So tiny sponsor is your exit or dream, right? Yeah. So what do you do 50 years from now?
50 years from now, I don't know. I feel like we're in a world of super uncertainty right now.
Yeah.
But I think I can tell you, if Tiny Sponsor succeeds the way I hope it will, we'll accumulate a platform, a marketplace for all of the top creators, and we'll have the data to actually support the best creators, the people who are creating true value. And I want to expand on that. So a creator, someone who creates content also as a business, isn't just sponsorships, it's direct fan engagement, it's audience support, it's merchandise, there's other areas that they can do, and we want to partner with other companies to build businesses, and we want to be that business platform.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then I think beyond that,
okay,
because it's a type of business, right? And I think that generation will become the drivers of media and of product and of culture for the next generation. They are already, and it's become more and more true in that becomes what we buy, how we live. All that comes from these trendsetters. And I think after that, we really want to use that data and expand the platform to be maybe a next generation social platform, one that's built by creators, that's empowering both the audience and the creators to focus. And again, instead of having high frequency, low quality, I only want to see things are the content and the opportunities and the products and the services that are relevant to me, that's highly contextual. I don't really see 100 a day, but the 10 that I do see should be very valuable, and therefore it becomes a quality over quantity point of view. And I think the revenue there is more stable because it's actually, you're not wasting. Right now, if you look at a conversion rate on an ad, you're spending so much money to get one conversion. So you're throwing someone 1,000 times to get one outcome. Instead of saying, you know what, let me just tell you the one that matters, and maybe I'll pay 1,000 times more, but I'm only having to worry about that. It actually, mental health-wise, is an issue there, right? Like, it lets the public focus on what matters to them, and they're not being inundated, not being buried by all of this media that they can't. Like we get engaged with thousands of ad engagements a day between our daily life, our mobile, Facebook, whatever, and that is not, our brains aren't prepared for that. And so if we can actually distill that to what matters and enable you to interact with people more meaningfully, then that becomes a better overall platform for society.
Okay. Nice. I hear that and I support it. That is the end of my podcast, and really good podcast, and I thank you.